We've already discussed a lot of topics, right? And we have also done a revision, isn't it? So, uh, on top of that, if you have any doubt or any topics that you feel that needs third revision, then you can just let me know, okay? So that I can just look into it. I've sent the question bank as well, isn't it? So you can look into it. And so at the moment, what I will do is I will just open up module 4, okay, and we will just see the document. And if you have any doubt, then yeah, we can just have a glance on it. Okay. Okay. So I hope all of you are able to see the screen. Right. So sometimes, in the question, they might even ask asynchronous. Okay. So in that point of time, what you'll be doing, you'll be just taking the output from one flip-flop and giving as clock to the next stage flip-flop. Okay. So that's the only difference between synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous will have, clocks connected together, but then asynchronous will actually depend, the clock depends on the previous output stage. Okay. So that is one main difference between synchronous and asynchronous, right? Okay. Constructing a state diagram is, of course, of prime importance. Okay. Where you will be looking into the lowest values to the highest values, right? Uh, and once you have the state diagram, it becomes easy for you to tabulate things and get things done, right? So this is one example which I've shown with respect to 3-bit asynchronous down counters, right? Where you have JK flip-flops and the outputs Q and Q bar, okay? Here also B and C, C and C bar, right? So I might ask questions, based on the waveforms, okay, in your semester and examinations. So just um, have a thorough look at this document, okay, right? And then when we say mod number is 2 raised to n. Okay, so if I say 2 raised to 2, which means it's 4. Okay, so 2-bit, which means it's going to be mod 4 because we have 4 combinations 00011011, right? 3-bit means it will have 8 combinations starting from 0 to 111, right? 111 is 7. So similarly, it goes on. Okay. Uh, One important thing is, how you actually construct the state diagram and mm, tabulate things. Okay, so we have seen a problem actually with respect to that. Uh, you have to know the truth table, then the characteristic table, and the circuit excitation table, right? Then once you have your state table, then you can easily construct your circuit excitation table. So all these tables are interconnected, right? As you all know. And using our K maps, okay, we get these equations. And once we have the equations, it's very easy for us to implement the logical circuitry. Okay, so this is one such example where we have 3-bit up and down synchronous counters, right? So if I take 4-bit, for example, so it will start from 4 zeros to 4 ones, right? And this is going to be the next state, and this is going to be the input of flip-flop. Okay, so we have to compare present and the next state. Okay, so we have to take the help of the circuit excitation table, right? And once that is there, then it becomes easy for us to fill in this column, and then putting those values, right, and getting a proper equation is important. Similarly, one such classic example can be this mod 6 synchronous counter, right? Starts from 0 to, okay, it's a random sequence. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 combinations, a random sequence, right? And then after this, it has to go back to its initial state, okay, which is 0. Okay, so here you can see this starting from 0, okay, starting from 0 and then ending 0. Right. So get the state table done, and accordingly you should know the excitation table for which flip-flop that you're going to do. Put it everything onto the table, circuit excitation. Use K-maps, get the proper optimized equations, and start implementing them. Okay, so I hope these concepts are clear for all of you. Is it clear, all of you students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And meanwhile, you guys can always have a look at the videos which I have uploaded, right? In the group, I have sent everything. Uh, if you want, for your benefit, you want me to send all the links of all the lectures so that whichever topic you wish to see, you can just click on it. Yeah. Should I do that, or will you directly go to the channel and look into the playlist? What do you all want?
So you can send a complete list for every topic, the video links.
Fine, fine. I will do that. After this class, I will do it. So this is another one such document, for module 4, right, where we had about the registers. We know that it's collection of flip-flops, right? And it can be unidirectional or bidirectional. Similarly, we have about 4 combinations: SISO, SIPO, PIPO, and PISO. Right? So you can see that D flip-flops are used. Data moves from one point to another point, right? And this is synchronous because we have clocks all connected together. Right? And we learned about this example, okay, as to how data is passing from one flip-flop to another flip-flop with the help of these waveforms. Okay, so you can see that the next waveform is a shifted version, right? It's a shifted version of the previous one, right? So this is coming here, it's coming here. Okay, so it's a shifted version of the waveform because the data moves from one flip-flop to another flip-flop, right? Okay. Similarly, we have serial in and parallel out. So serial in, serial out is almost the same. Serial in, serial out, and serial in, parallel out. Just that we have these connections which comes out, so it becomes parallel out data. And also here we have seen how data can be extracted. Okay, here also we find that data is shifting from one point to another point. Similarly, parallel in, serial out. So based on load and shift, okay, the inverter plays the trick here. So if it's a lower value, it loads, and then if it's a higher value, then it shifts from one flip-flop to another flip-flop. Universal shift register. So this can be configured, okay, to use multiple operations can be performed, which is hold, shift right, left, parallel load, all those. Then I've given a problem, right? Um, so using universal shift register, using this flip-flops, how we can convert. Okay. So I can again give you another question wherein we can have hold, synchronous, clear, complement. So these operations can change, right? It's not only these, we can give something else also, and accordingly we have to design a circuit, right? Counters are examples of registers, and then we have this state diagrams, right? And it goes one after the other. Implementation can be in the form of Moore or Mealy, right? So both the formats to try to understand, okay, and you can implement it. Then we have discussed extensively about delay, right, as to how delay happens when data moves from one point to another point, and how it is necessary for us to uh, check on the delay, right? Okay. Similarly, we have this binary counters where we have different configurations. The output itself, when it's taken, it looks like less clumsy, right? So if you compare the previous one with the next one, right? Since the outputs are taken, it looks less clumsy. This is one example of mod 10 counter where it has 10 states starting from 0 to 9, right? So 0 to 9 is going to be 10 states. So shift registers, it can be ring counter, Johnson counter, right? So just that for ring counter, it is the outputs are fed back to the input, and for Johnson counter, the complemented version is fed back to the input. Okay, and here we have twisted ring counter. Okay, mod 7. So here is the use of AND gate. Okay, and of course we have this alternative approach where you can think of the shift registers. Remember, we had discussed extensively about these clock waveforms and how they, move in from one point to another point, right? Okay. About your module 4. Okay, so all this that we discussed. So now let me just quickly run through module 5 as well. Okay, just a moment. So in module 5, it's all about the sequential circuit design, right? The Mealy and Moore models, right? So if you see the Mealy model, then you actually have a connection between the input and output logic, right? And in Moore model, there's no input by output, right? So instead, it's a different form, state by output, right? So that's the format that we have seen. So if you can see this, right, state by output. So this is your input, right, which is at the externals, and state by output, and then accordingly, now this becomes your Moore model, and this becomes your Mealy model. Okay, the most used input by output, the Mealy model, input by output representations are there. So in the question, I can ask you to implement the sequence detector in any fashion, right? So you should understand what is the state table, the transition table. Transition is nothing but we are coding 00 to A, 01 to B, 10 to C, and 11 to D. This problem is very important. Okay, so it can come in your examinations also. So we get the equations, and then we have the transition table, then we have the equations, right? And then we put the state diagram, and finally the state table, right? So similarly, we can have for different flip-flops, right? For JK flip-flop and the state reduction, and so one important thing that you can do here is since we have states repeating, okay, we can reduce them, and you can see this state diagram here, how complex it looks. But then once modified, it becomes as simple as this, right? So the number of states reduce, so that's important. So here you have your sequence detectors, right, wherein 1010, if that's the example, then you can take it 1010 here, and then the output finally goes to high, and then that is fed back, okay, to the initial state. And once you have that, okay, once you have this here, okay, the next thing is checking for the other value. So as I told you, a state will have either 0 or it will have 1, right? So since you have checked for 1 here already, so you have to check for 0. There's no other state, so it has to go back to the same state, okay? So similarly, you can follow the analysis, right? Design of counters is one such important thing, okay, where you can consolidate things. In order to get these things, then you need to know the truth table, right? Then characteristic and excitation. So if you know the truth table, the rest is as easy as it is, right? So you can have this table constructed, put the k maps, right? So with k maps, you get equations. With those equations, you can do a normal logical implementation. So I hope all these concepts are clear for all of you, isn't it? I've quickly run through module 4 and 5 for the third time. So I hope all of you are clear with these topics, right? Any doubts,
Yes.
students? Yeah, yeah. So I'll be sending in, and you can just check, and you can have a look at it. Okay.
Yes, sir.